Hello everyone. Any question from Plato? Then we can move with the next thinker, that is Aristotle. So let us see. Second Greek thinker. See, the context is almost same because city-state. The context which I have told in Plato that was existed for Aristotle too, because in Greek age city-state were divided in the smaller state. There was a conflict between city-state, and there was a various forms of government existed in the city-state, and see, the condition and context was almost same. But what was change? Because if we look the idea of any thinker, personal character or the personal orientation also shapes the political thought. And in terms of Aristotle, that personal approach is very different because Plato was a bachelor, he was unmarried, and see, he come with a radical solution. Plato is radical. You remember, whenever we are using term radical, radical means Plato never accept middle path, and that is a point extremist. Radical means Plato is not accepting the importance of family, property. Is it possible? Is it possible to abandon the family and property? That's very difficult. That is reason Plato is radical. Aristotle is very pragmatic. Here you should not be confused in the context because on the one hand, Aristotle is an idealist. We are going to use two terms for Aristotle. On the one hand, Aristotle is idealist. Why idealist? Because you look, the basic term virtue is a knowledge which is propagated by Socrates, then accepted by Plato, and this is also accepted by Aristotle. Virtue is a knowledge. That is basic fundamental ethical premise. And it means Aristotle also believe in the virtue ethics. It means who is idealist? The scholar who believe that what ought to be. That is idealist. Therefore, Aristotle is idealist. It means what is the purpose of human life? Leading a moral and virtuous life. Therefore, again, he is idealist. Look, the purpose. Purpose is not getting the wealth. Purpose of life is not getting the power. But purpose of life is to lead a moral life, virtuous life. Then again, he is an idealist. These are features of an idealist. And you look, just like Plato, that is the point. If you read out the entire Aristotle, you will find out that we are repeating Plato time and again. And we are going to do comparison with Plato. Every moment we are going to do comparison with Aristotle. That is reason Aristotle begins everything from Plato, whether it is justice, idea of state. That is the point. And for idealist, because Aristotle is also idealist, therefore for Aristotle, state and community is more important than individual. State and community is more important than individual. And even Aristotle also believe in the organic concept of state. That is the point. Aristotle also believe in organic concept of state. That is the point. You have to remember the fact that Aristotle is an idealist. There is no doubt about that. That is the point. Entire Greek tradition is moral. Entire Greek tradition is based on the principle of idealism. Therefore, virtuous ethical life is important. What is the objective of life? To be a good human being. That was a prime concern of Plato. What was the objective of Plato? To discovering to make a good human being. And again, that is reason leading a moral, virtuous life. That is the objective of human life. And again, state and community is more important than individuals. see individual's approach. Therefore, Aristotle never believed that individual is egoist, self-centric. He never accept that. But on the one hand, he is idealist. Therefore, whatever and whenever Aristotle is idealist, just like Plato, that is a tradition. When Plato says something, vice of Socrates. Plato said that whatever I am saying, this is a, it is my wordings are there. Idea is that coming from Socrates. Similarly, how our framer of the constitution, who wrote the constitution, they says that we are only enacting the constitution. Idea what we are getting from the people of India. Voice is coming from the people of India. Ideas coming from the people of India. We are only writer. But you know the problem what is faced by Plato, and later Plato has revised his own idea. That is idea Plato in a republic. Therefore, Plato revised his own idea. See in statesman, in laws, that is expanded by Aristotle. But here Aristotle believed in a principle of golden mean. Here Aristotle became very pragmatic. Aristotle is not radical. Aristotle starts from Plato, therefore is idealist. And whosoever believe in principle of golden mean, they are pragmatic. Therefore, it should not be considered as antagonistic. Otherwise, once we are saying that he is a idealist, now I am saying that he is a pragmatic. It should not be confused because Aristotle is a pragmatic in context of Plato. But as individual thinker, he is an idealist. Because look the tradition, these are the basic feature of idealism. Idealists are not materialist. And for Aristotle too, what is a defining factor? Form, idea. Therefore, idealists believe in idea. So what is the feature of idealist? They says that material world is just reflection of ideas. But methodology of Aristotle is different. It is not likewise of Plato. If you look the methodology of Aristotle, and because of that methodology, that is a golden mean too, and that methodology is, see, inductive method. Plato accepted deductive method. Aristotle is getting the inductive method, and while adopting the inductive method, Aristotle surveyed the various constitutions of the world. Plato was more relying over the geometry. Plato was more relying over the philosophy. But here, Aristotle was more relying over the empirical study. See, that is very unique. Even how a philosopher can involve in empirical study. Because Aristotle is a philosopher too. And if you want to know the genius of this person, he is a father of biology too. And he is a father of political science too. And look the genius of that person, because he was a father of biology too. He was very much involved in the study of the animal world too. And he carried out his study for the human world too. That is the reason he is on the one hand using inductive method. What is inductive method? Empirical method. And what is empirical method? What he is proposing, a best constitution for governing the city-state on the basis of his own empirical study. He is saying that he surveyed various constitutions of the world. That is the point. Our founding fathers who framed our constitution, they also adopted the empirical method. They surveyed the constitution of US, then the political tradition of Britain, constitution of other part of the world, the Weimar constitution. Then they were coming over the basic tenets of Indian constitution. That is exact example of empirical method. Here he was using inductive method, empirical method. Inductive method is method of physics. Inductive method means based on observation, not based on ideas. It's not based on ideas. Therefore, philosophical method and inductive method are just opposite to each other. Deductive method and inductive are just opposite to each other. Deductive method is based on idea. Inductive method is based on matter. Inductive method is based on matter. But moreover, see, deciding over inductive method, how he is see, involved with inductive method, you can note down few points. And then we will move towards the teleological method. Look, the methodology of Aristotle, and then although you can also write the golden mean, you can begin with the golden mean, then inductive. So how golden mean? See, you believe in middle path, are you extremist? You are all middle path? Oh my God. Because in young age, if you are following the middle path, and then it are better for the future society. Because in young age, people must be radical. And who is radical? Salman Khan is radical. And Sasi Tharoor is also radical. Even marrying 20 times in a life, radical. Even not deny to marry, radical. Amassing the huge property, radical. Living without food, radical. And that is radical. इतना मोटे हो जाओ सीढ़ी पे चढ़ ना पाओ, रेडिकल. इतने दुबले हो जाओ सीढ़ी चढ़ते उड़ जाओ, रेडिकल. तो डोंट बिलीव इन रेडिकल, डोंट टेक इट पर्सनल. हमारे यहाँ तो कई क्लास में ऐसा है नहीं, कई बार. So that is radical. See, that is point. Anything is excessive, that become poisonous. ज़्यादा मिठाई खाओगे प्रॉब्लमेटिक होगी, बिल्कुल नहीं खाओगे तो प्रॉब्लमेटिक होगी. एंड दैट इज पॉइंट. ज़्यादा बोलना वही प्रॉब्लम है, ना बोलना प्रॉब्लम है. बिलीव इन मिडिल पाथ. टू मच, सी, चिलिंग कोल्ड is not worth living. Even the desert is not worth living. Middle path. Even the, if you look the climate which is most suitable for the people, that is a temperate climate. If individual who is more suitable, some people are saying that no property. How you can survive in life without property? But if we are running only property, only behind property, then our life will become hell. Therefore, we must learn an art of middle path. That is all about the balance. See, earlier I have seen advertisement of Akshay Kumar. He says that life is all about the balance. और कई लोग बैलेंस नहीं रख पाते. पेरेंट्स और भाई, look, after marriage what happens? Imbalance. एक तरफ ज़्यादा झुक गए, गड़बड़ा गया. माँ को छोड़ ही नहीं पा रहे हो, देन यू हैव टू लूज समवन एल्स. अब ऐसा भी नहीं, माँ को बिल्कुल अनदेखा कर दिया, देन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. मेक अ बैलेंस. बैलेंस इन लाइफ, खाने में, रहने में, बोलने में. कई लोग बोल देंगे, है बाई हार्ट दे आर वेरी प्योर, बोल देंगे तब उठ भाग जाओगे कि यार हाउ रूड पर्सन, ये कैसी बात कर रहा है. इसलिए, और बहुत प्यार से बोलोगे तो भी जो लोग फुद्दू बना देगा. मिडिल पाथ, व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग, मिडिल पाथ. इसलिए ज़्यादा मत पढ़ना, कम भी मत पढ़ना. तो कई बच्चे मेरे पास आते हैं कि मैं कम सोता हूँ. मैंने कहा ये काम कभी मत करना, ये रेडिकल है होना है. खूब सो, जितना नींद लगे खूब सो. मेंटल हमारा काम है ना. अरे दिमाग ही स्टेबल नहीं रहेगा. आधे घंटे पढ़ लो बस, प्रिंट हो जाना चाहिए. Adopt Aristotle. He believes in a middle path. Now you can write. What is middle path? First point. Plato is a radical who denies the importance of private property and family. Plato is a radical who denies the importance of private property and family. Private property and family, full stop. He said that it is evil. It is evil for, it is evil, it is harmful for sake of unity of state. It is harmful for sake of unity of state. But his disciple Aristotle is a pragmatic. His disciple Aristotle is a pragmatic who said that property is an extension of. Who said that? Property is an extension of personality of individual in time and space. Property is an extension of personality of individual in time and space. In time and space. See, property is extension of individual's personality in time and space. Moreover, property is essential. Property is essential for leading a moral, virtuous, or happy life. Property is essential for leading a moral, virtuous, and happy life. See, in Greek, he used the term eudaimonia. It means happiness. That is very interesting. Happiness is the objective of life. Leading a virtuous life is the objective of life. That is the point. Property, you can write. Property is means underline. Property is a means. It is not end of life. End underline. Property is a means. It is not end of life. It is not end of life. And what is end of life? Virtuous life. That is point. If you compare why Aristotle believed in middle path, see, without property, even friendship cannot develop. That is statement of Aristotle himself. See, you know that, and I am forgetting one श्लोक of Sanskrit. इसमें कहा गया है, जैसे आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द एग्जैक्ट श्लोक, कितनी अरिस्टोटल की बात को रिपीट किया गया है कि बिना पैसे के दोस्ती कहाँ होती है और बिना दोस्ती के सुख कहाँ होता है. सी, यू नीड फ्रेंड फॉर शेयरिंग द हैप्पी मोमेंट्स. आपको कोई आपको बहुत अच्छी खबर हो, उछल रहे हो, किसको बताएं? आपको लगता है जब भी यू गेट अ better information, you want to share with someone else. Or that is the point. Property is essential for purchasing pizza, burger, a better cloth. लेकिन प्रॉपर्टी देख के खुश हो गए क्या? तो सारे करेंसी बिछा लो, उसी पे सो उछलो. ये नहीं हो सकता. That is point. Aristotle says that you have to see, define the nothing is evil in itself. Property is not an evil, essential for leading a moral and happier life. Therefore, a guest is arriving on your home, unable to serve a coffee and tea. How you can develop a friendship? And this is immoral too. Therefore, he is revising his idea of master. He said, no, without property, nothing can happen. Even he told the meaning how we should get the property. But look, the means is very important, because whenever we are discussing of ethics, ethics is all about debate between end and means. End should be fair, so means should also be fair. If we are applying unfair means for obtaining fair end, that will become foul. So how? He says that. It means, look, although his ideas may not be relevant in the present time, but look the balance he's making. Look, the balance he's making is property essential. The next point, what he says that. For him, there is a two-way or two method. There is a two method for acquiring the property. Two method for acquiring the property. First one, is natural two methods for acquiring property. First one is natural. First one is natural. Natural method for acquiring property. First one is a natural method for acquiring property. Natural method means like hunting, fishing, hunting, fishing, hunting, fishing. Second, exploitative method. Second, exploitative method. That is through commerce and trade. Exploitative method, that is through commerce and trade. See here Aristotle is different, and that is the point. Now in 21st century, commerce and trade is the biggest mechanism for getting property, but Aristotle does not believe in that. Aristotle says that by commerce, by trade, if we are getting property by commerce and trade, exploitative, unfair, not ethical. And that is a point to be considered here. So how every person can involve in hunting and fishing. And more importantly, what he says that interest should not be charged with anyone. And that is a point. That is a point what he was highlighting about the distribution of property. Even you look, whenever we are looking for social justice, whenever we are looking for the restructuring of society, distribution of property become very important. Right from Aristotle to Marx, the distribution of property become very important. And what Plato come with the solution? Property should be owned entirely by the one class or entirely by the community. Aristotle is not saying that. Aristotle says that property must be owned by individual, but it should be utilized for the well-being of entire community, because individual, what is objective of individual is leading a moral, virtuous life. Amassing the property is not objective of human being. See, unfortunately, in 21st century, in capitalism, what is objective of human being? Getting more and more money. So running behind money became the ultimate objective. Here it is different from Aristotle. So why golden mean? Property is necessary, but getting property is not ultimate objective of human life. And here why? Why some people are extremist, like capitalist. If you look at capitalist, they are saying property, property. Plato, no property. Both are extremist. Because if we are every time we are running behind the property, then we cannot lead a better life. Because human being is more important than amassing the property. And you look, the property is not a mechanism how we can get happiness. Remember, property may means it may not be objective. You remember the fact that in childhood you were more happy or while becoming an IAS officer. And this is our human nature. Probably what is happening in this present world, in industrial world, we are forgetting our basic nature. What is our basic nature? To be happy. अब मुस्कुराना ही भूल गए. कई लोग तो मुस्कुराते ही नहीं. कोई मुस्कुराते, कोई हल्के से ले लिया तो ये प्रॉब्लम होती है. मतलब सच में ऐसी बात कई बार. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट यू पीपल, बट लुक एंड टेल वेर एवर यू आर ट्रेवलिंग, आप लोग मुस्कुराते ही नहीं. उनको पता नहीं. अच्छा, कई बार मुस्कुराने का मतलब लोग अलग अलग भी समझ लेते हैं, ये भी गड़बड़ी होती है. इसलिए भी कुछ लोग बचते हैं, भाई पता नहीं क्या मतलब कोई समझ ले. दिस इज नेचर ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. शेयरिंग. सी, अरे भाई अब लुक दे, जब फेस को आप हमेशा ऐसे किए रखोगे, योर फेस इज मोर टेंस. बी रिलैक्स, बी काम एंड कूल. अरे मुस्कुराने से पॉजिटिव एनर्जी जाएगी. मुस्कुराने में क्या एक्सचेंज कराने, कोई हट नहीं लगा, चवन नहीं लगा. लुक द चाइल्ड इज हैप्पी विदाउट एनी मीन्स. दिस इज एक्चुअल नेचर ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. दोस्तों, लेने के आए थे, क्या क्या खो दिया हमने. यू रिमेंबर, आए थे कुछ लेने, कितनी प्रेशियस चीजें खो के चले गए. एंड दैट इज अ हैप्पीनेस. हैप्पीनेस इज नॉट ऑब्जेक्ट सेंट्रिक. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड? व्हाट वी से दैट नो, आई विल बिकम हैप्पी. मैं मुस्कुराऊंगा तो जब पीटी पास हो जाएगा. देन आई विल अगेन स्माइल व्हेन मेंस विल क्वालिफाई. ज्यादा स्माइल करूंगा व्हेन आई विल selected in this examination. उसके बाद कहीं मुस्कुराओगे थोड़े। कई लोग कहते हैं शादी के बाद मुस्कुराएंगे, कोई मौका मिलेगा नहीं। वो क्या हमारे यहाँ जो मुस्कुराने के लिए, खुश होने के लिए, वी आर गेटिंग एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, ओ माय गॉड, वी आर वेटिंग फॉर अ मोमेंट। नो, what Aristotle says that be happy, be happy. This is actual human nature. There is a difference between property and happiness. We can't become happy only by getting property, but without property, we cannot get the basic livelihood of this life. So we can't be happy. So look the middle path. Look the way how he's telling. Next point. Sorry. Next point. Or um, next paragraph you can write. Apart from property, apart from property, apart from property, he also accepted the importance of family. Apart from property, he also accepted the importance of family. Apart from property, he also accepted the importance of family and said that state is an association of associations, and said that state is an association of associations. And state is a comprises of family, village. State is a comprises of family and village. State is a comprise of family and village. Full stop. Unity of state. Unity of state does not mean undermining the family or village. Does not mean undermining the importance of family or village. Undermining the importance of family or village, because unity refers unity in diversity. Unity refers unity in diversity. However, Plato thinks that unity is a homogeneity. Plato thinks that unity is a homogeneity, which is illogical. Unity is a homogeneity, which is illogical. Again, look the Aristotle. What Aristotle is saying that, see, unity means there must be various kind of association in the state, and that is the point. Barker, you can note down the point. Barker, the name of commentator, Barker, Barker said that state of Aristotle is a pluralist in nature. Barker said that state of Aristotle is a pluralist in nature. Pluralist in nature. See, what is a pluralism? Pluralism means a state is comprised of multiple group. Pluralism means there is a multiple centers of power within the state. So state is not one entity. State is comprised of the multiple entity. That is a pluralism. Just like now, if we are recognizing the Society of Delhi, we can find out the multiple groups in Delhi. Students are there, teachers are there, patients are there, plural, multiple groups. Therefore, look the again, Plato was a radical. Plato says the presence of family is harmful for unity of a state. Don't you think it is a radical idea? How you can abolish family for maintaining unity in the state? Aristotle says no, it is not correct. Aristotle says that there must be family, and the village is made of the family. Therefore, a state is comprises of family, village. Then it makes a state. Again adopting middle path. In property, middle path. In the describing state, middle path. And see, everywhere in the describing constitution, revolution, everywhere is a adopting a middle path, and that is a point to be noted. Aristotle is more relevant as of now in comparison to Plato. The person of middle path become always very much relevant because they may be flexible. They can change ideas according to changing time and circumstances. See, before moving further, let us see how he described about family. As far as a family is concerned, look, Plato never talk about family. Plato is only looking for the state, and what Plato gave idea of a state family. For Plato, there is only one family, that is a republic. There is no individual family, because presence of individual family will also divide loyalty of individuals. And see, in that context, how you can imagine Indian unity. Indian unity does not mean there should be only one religion, one language, one see center of a power. That is the point why we have adopted the federal form of government in order to unifying India. Therefore, respecting diversity is more important for maintaining unity rather than abolishing the diversity. Abolishing the diversity may be counterproductive if we want to apply the Aristotle's idea in the present world. That is the point. If somebody is Tamilian, Telugu, Kannadi, say they are allowed to keep their own languages. In that context, if you look what he described about the family, here again he is a different from Plato. He says that family is comprised of first father, and son, then husband and wife, and here master and slave. Look the idea of family. He says that father and son, but the question is that what kind of relation he want to maintain in the family. Again, you look compare from Plato. Plato always believed in equality between male and female. Plato never accepted the idea of slavery, but here he accepted the idea of slavery. And the question is that, see, although here is there is a difference of opinion while interpretation of Aristotle, because there is some contradiction. There is some contradiction in Aristotle, because the one group of a scholar who believe that he believe in virtue ethics. If he believe in virtue ethics, then how he can say that inequality in the family? His family is not a equal, hierarchical, in egalitarian. It's not egalitarian. And some people say that no, he's a naturalist. Naturalist means, see, inequality exists in nature. So how he describe out the relation between the father and son, and then husband and wife? What Aristotle says that father, husband, and master, they are the same person in three roles, and they are the people who are having reason. And look here, again he apply the logic of a naturalist law. And what nature tells? Nature tells that superior must be rule over inferior, just like a mind rule over body. Look, again the same logic of Plato. Therefore, reason must rule over the passion, emotion. Mind should rule over the body. So, what is mind of family? Father. What is mind of family? Husband. Who is having the reason? Master, husband, and father. And son. Son means where there is a less developed reason. Son, who is a son? Where less developed reason. In son, there is a less developed reason. Therefore, when father give order to son, father will behave like authoritarian. No democracy. When father will say to son, दूध पियो, क्या कुरकुरे खाएंगे, तो उस समय फादर क्या करना चाहिए? फादर इज एंटाइटल्ड टू कोर्स द सन कि नहीं, दूध पियो भाई. Therefore, when father give order to son, father became authoritarian. And see, father became authoritarian. And second, see, in case when husband, what is the relation between husband and wife? And here, wife means there is a less amount of reason. Here it is less developed. It means in days to come, this will be developed in son. So, reason will develop, but there is no probability of development of reason in the wife. Here he is not feminist. Look, just opposite to Plato. And see, why just opposite to Plato? He is considered conservative. Time and again, he believed in convention. And in the society where he was writing, somehow women were occupying the lower position in society. And this is the same story in every society. Therefore, here he was a very conservative, not radical. It means he believed in status quo. Status quo means whosoever occupying the position in society is just. We can't do anything. Therefore, here it is in son, there is least developed reason, but in wife, least reason. There is a least reason. It means there is no possibility of development in days to come. That is reason. See, feminists are very angry with the. That is need. Why there is a need of feminism? And you can remember the feminists are very angry with that. And this is not accepted at all, because see how you can categorize somebody as a slave. How you can categorize even somebody is having less amount of reason, because you don't have any rationality for that. And a philosopher like Aristotle, who is a father of political science, that is not accepted as of now in the present society. But this is view of Aristotle. We are not subscribing to that view, and I am not responsible for whatever said by Aristotle, because this is not my own opinion. But look the pragmatism. He said yes, wife is having less reason, but whenever husband is giving some order to wife, husband should work like constitutional advisor, not authoritarian. Constitutional advisor means husband can say, if wife is demanding for a jeans, then husband can also say that yes, there may be other options too. You can choose, but ultimate decision depends in the hand of wife. Constitutional. Then here, for dictating the wife, how husband will play a role of a constitutional advisor, not authoritarian. Constitutional advisor. Therefore, in constitutional advisor, consent of wife is important. Without taking consent of wife, you cannot take a decision. Advice is not binding. Advice automatically not binding. Look at Kunal, how happy he is. well, इस बात को स्पेशली वो जानना चाहता है कि एडवाइस बाइंडिंग है कि नहीं है. But that is joke apart. See, and here when master give the order to slave, master behave like a despotic. Master behave like a despotic. Therefore, no consent is there. Because slave, who is a slave? The person without reason, reasonless. There is no reason. And you look, if we don't have any reason, therefore we are like animal. Because what is basic difference between human being and the animals? Because they don't have any reason. See, this is how Aristotle described about the family. With that family, various ideas we can draw. With that family, various idea we can draw: family to, slavery to, inequality to. So what we are getting from that description of family? So you can write some ideas. Inequality. Heading: inequality. Aristotle says that Aristotle says that inequality exists in nature. Inequality exists in nature, like like or likewise inequality exists in human body too. Likewise, inequality exists in human body too. Inequality exists in human body too. Since he was a father of biology too. Since he was a father of biology, Aristotle, he was a father of biology, therefore gave biological argument for justifying inequality. Therefore gave biological argument for justifying inequality. Biological argument for justifying inequality. Full stop. See, we can categorize the various organs of human body. We can categorize the various organs of human body in first point. We can categorize various organs of human body in first point: integral part of body. Integral part of body, which is essential for survival of human life. Integral part of human body, which is essential for survival of human life. Essential for survival of human life, like heart, second, contributory part. Second, contributory part, which is not essential for survival of human life. Which is not essential for survival of human life. Which is not essential for survival of human life. And slaves are the contributory part of society. Slaves are contributory part of the society. Further, he said that inequality is not a natural. Further, he said that inequality is not a natural but desirable too. Inequality is not a natural but desirable too. Inequality is not a natural but desirable too. See, David Miller, yeah, only you can write Miller, 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 described Aristotle Aristotle as a philosopher of natural law. Miller described Aristotle as a philosopher of natural law. As a philosopher of natural law. See, just I am quoting here a very famous short notes which earlier asked in UPSC, although way back it may not asked in days to come because see, if you look basically the nature of question from thinkers, now it is more contemporary based than earlier questions. Now it is more touching the theory with thinker. So there is a change of trend, but we can't guarantee because even you can see multiple type of examiners are there. So there is a very famous sentence on the basis of that family, and that was earlier asked in UPSC examination. Now you can write next point while describing that inequality. So once there in UPSC, the simple quotation, comment about the idea of inequality in the Aristotle. So you cannot write inequality without describing the inequality in the family, inequality of slaves, and even further, we will further debate over the concept of slavery. So therefore, literally you cannot tell inequality without describing family and slaves. But moreover, what is how we can here compare with the Plato? Because you look, for Plato, there is no family, state family is there. That is point a very famous sentence of Plato, which is corrected by Aristotle. And what this comment is that now you can write. Plato said that see, head of family. Plato said that head of family and the ruler of state are same. Head of family and the ruler of state is same because Plato never recognizes the importance of particular families. Plato never recognizes the importance of particular families. See, and Plato gave the idea of state family, and Plato gave the idea of state family. State family underline. Aristotle is not agree with that viewpoint of Plato. Aristotle is not agree with that viewpoint of Plato. Aristotle does not agree with that viewpoint of Plato because Aristotle recognizes the particular importance of family. Because Aristotle recognizes the particular importance of family. Aristotle recognizes the particular importance of family. Therefore, head of family is different. Head of family is different from the head of states or head of state. Head of family is different from head of state. See further, you can give this argument. Is it clear? Because for Plato there is no family. If there is no family, state is a larger family. Therefore, whosoever is a head of a state, it means king is also father of every citizen. But here in case of Aristotle, he says that no particular family exists. Therefore, heading a family is different. Heading a state is different because a state is comprises of the number of families. But further we can give the argument. Why? Because the target of a state is something else. Purpose of family is something else. And that target of a state I will tell later. But here you can note down. Next point further. Further, Aristotle said that purpose of a state is to promote moral virtuous life of human being, which we will discuss separately. Purpose of a state is to promote moral virtuous life of human being. But purpose of family is for fulfillment of physical needs of individual. Physical needs of individual. So this is first difference. Purpose of a state is leading a moral virtuous life, and how state is important for leading a moral virtuous life, that we will discuss separately in the state. Here we are only referring a state. Later we have discussed a state, which is central point in the Aristotle. Second difference. See, order of king or order of a state or order of head of a state or king. Order of head of a state. Order of head of a state is same or equal for every individual or citizen. Every individual or citizen. But head of family does not adopt the equal treatment. Head of family does not adopt the equal treatment while dealing with family members. Does not adopt equal treatment while dealing with family members. Family members means to son, wife and slaves. There are three different parameters. That is reason. See, being a head of a state is different from being a head of family. Plato never accepted difference in that. But there is a difference in Aristotle. This is one short notes, which is asked in UPSC way back even before 10 years. But you look in philosopher, no question is old and no question is new. But we can recognize some change of trend in the asking the question. Now it is asking that write comment over equality. Earlier this kind of question never asked from Aristotle, comment over equality. Next subheading, while dealing with family. See, slave, theory of slave. Theory of slave. किसी के पास बिक्स वगैरह होता दे दो, किसी बिक्स वगैरह है किसी के पास? हाँ दे दो. तो theory of slave. Theory of slave, first point. Aristotle wrote politics. There is a famous book of Aristotle, Politics. Aristotle wrote Politics, and theory of economics is sub or theory of economics is a one chapter of the book Politics. Theory of economics is one chapter of the book Politics. See, this is a very interesting comparison. Nowadays, we are living in the age of liberalization, globalization, and see where economy is dominating everywhere in the life. But see how Aristotle defined the economy. Now you can write how he is saying that, because later we have to discuss what is most important subject, political science, not economics. And that is the reason politics is more important than economics. What is economics? He defined that. What you have written? Politics. He said that economics is an art of household management. Economics is an art of household management. See, that's very interesting. Economics is an art of household management. इसका मतलब what is economics? See, managing house is more important or managing a state? What is economics? ब्रेड आपको पैसे कितने मिलते हैं महीने में, जितने आपके बजट होंगे उसमें महीने में क्या क्या खर्च करना, दैट इज ऑल अबाउट इकोनॉमिक्स. Is an art of household management, nothing else. Say managing house is more important or managing nation. And he further said that, economics or theory of economics, whatever you can write, economics or theory of economics include, point number 1, economics or theory of economics include, point number 1, theory of family. Economics or theory of economics include, point number 1, theory of family. Second, theory of private property or theory of property. Economics, theory of property. And third, theory of slavery. Theory of slavery. So now we want to discuss about slavery. So whether discussing over, it means what we are discussing as of now, economics. Later we have to discuss politics. First we are starting with the family. Now later we have to reach over the state. Family is more important than state. So obviously state is more important. But again on this point, feminists are not agree. Feminists are saying, say, this is a conspiracy. So feminists are saying that no, politics begin from family. Aristotle said no. Family is an only domain which is a managing for the affair of economy. Politics has nothing to do with family. So these comparisons become very important while writing the feminism. And see, what is the theory of slavery? So now you can write. Aristotle said that अच्छा, एरिस्टोटल को एक बात समझ में आ गई थी, एवरीथिंग नेचुरल, लफड़ाई छोड़ दो. इनइक्वालिटी इज नेचुरल. You also believe that inequality is natural? You also believe that inequality is natural? Then what do you believe that? Tell me. It's not natural. Okay, who believes that equality is natural? Yes. See, there is one mountain, Himalayas are there. On the oceans are there. Plateau, plain, where you find equality. Can you find out equal type of plants? In here you are sitting in the class. Look towards each other. So many people are verifying. देख तो सच में कह रहे हैं ऐसा कि नहीं? It means according to height, according to color, according to See, temperament, according to nature, according to everything, physique, we are different. Sorry, that is a point. How Aristotle says that no, it is a natural, it is natural. But look, now it is very much criticized. Look, whenever we are looking for equality, see why this kind of differences exist, because of the some geographical factor, some genetic factor. Inequality, in fact, is a product of society. Now it is very much recognized. How a human being can be a slave with birth? How a woman can be have a less reason? Now science is proving that woman is having the bigger mind than male. Women are more efficient to carry out a job which demand the patience. So they are master in tackling the handling situation. And if we want to learn the patience, see, calm and compose, then you look the woman. And the same Aristotle says that a woman is inferior. And that is a part of debate. Therefore, you look, inequality is in fact generated by the society. Therefore, whenever we are saying equality, that does not mean that we want to make these five fingers equal. This is natural inequality, it is bound to exist. But the inequality which is made by the society, that must be abolished. Inequality like lower status of woman, slavery, even how we can make individual slave. So that is a point. Aristotle says that's natural, one viewpoint, but critics say that no, it is just social, nothing natural. Now you can write what you. Can you repeat this? Aristotle said that slavery is also natural. Slavery is also natural, and he advanced. Slavery is also natural, and he advanced the following arguments. He advanced the following arguments. He advanced the following arguments for justifying slavery. Following arguments for justifying the slavery. First, while giving biological argument, he said that some individuals are physically well built. Some individuals are physically well built, therefore more suitable for physical work. Physically well built, therefore more suitable for the physical work. And some individuals are lean and thin. Some individuals are lean and thin, therefore they are having more reason. They are having more reason and likely to become master. Likely to become master. See, that is very unfortunate. This is a misconception. First time I have seen that the people who are lean and thin, they are now smiling. Acha, ab to, look the Aristotle, even all the people from Punjab and Haryana, they are qualified to become slaves because physically they are very well built. Can you imagine the fact? और इसीलिए देखो, this is misconception. There is some myth that is propagated earlier. Now it is also accepted. Some myth is there. मोटे लोगों में दिमाग कम होता है, ज़्यादा मोटे कोई लोग मोटा है. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाई मोटा है पतला, इससे क्या होता है यार? दैट इज मेटाबॉलिज्म में भी डिफरेंट। अच्छा, कई लोग कहते हैं लुक द क्लेवर पीपल आर ऑलवेज लीन एंड थिन। ज़्यादा ज़्यादा खाओगे तो पेट ही ज़्यादा काम करेगा, दिमाग कम काम करेगा। बट अगेन आई एम सेइंग दैट दिस इज अ मोर लाइक अ मिथ, convention, custom. That is the point. People are saying that how he's a more less naturalist, more believe in convention, custom, is more conservative, status quoist. Look the how he's advancing the biological argument, and how he drawing the it means slavery is natural because some people are lean and thin, so they are unable, they are not suitable for manual jobs, so they are here for be ruler, and the people who are physically stronger. Look, he is contradicting the voice of his own master. इसके हिसाब से प्लेटो भी दास होना चाहिए था. Plato was a physically well built. Therefore, later I will tell you, Kelsen is a legal positivist in the 20th century. He's criticizing Plato, and he is pointing out the contradiction of Plato. Don't you think, according to that parameter, his master Plato was more suitable to be qualified to be slave? उससे ज़्यादा physically well built कौन था? Because the actual name of Plato was Aristocles. This was the nickname given by his master, Socrates. Therefore, this is a contradiction. But he said that. Second point. He also gave moral argument. He also gave moral argument for supporting slavery. Gave a moral argument for supporting slavery, and said that masters need laser underline. Masters need laser for participating in the the deliberative and judicial functions of a state. Masters need laser for participating in the judicial and deliberative functions of a state. For participating in deliberative and judicial functions of a state. And slaves will manage the task of slaves will manage the task of household activities. Full stop. Therefore, master will fully devote their energy his energy for the well-being of community. Master will fully devote his energy for the well-being of the community. It means, see how many of you are engaged in self-cooking. Are you cook? Are you cooking? Who is cooking? Why? Oh my God, why you people cook? What? For yourself. Oh my God. Can you tell me any district magistrate, just to ask to DM, they are cooking, ask to PM, Just you ask the price of tomato, potato. Just you ask to home minister that tell me what is the price of tomato, potato. They are not aware of that. No district magistrate is aware of the price. And that is reason price rise become the biggest issue, and political masters are not even taking care of that issues. Look, if we are too much involved in our household management, therefore we are unable to get the leisure for devoting the task for the larger purposes. You will get an argument. No, no, I have a more time. And see, you will give argument. No, food become very tasty. तो अब बताओ, पेट की चिंता है, दिमाग को भी चिंता रखोगे? If you want to become master, never involved in self cooking. This is a, and whosoever involved in self cooking, they're qualified to become slave. So never engage in that kind of work. Again, I am saying this is joke. So no scholar can be perfect. No, because their ideas are also contextual. But important fact is that he justifies slavery because without slave, master is supposed to handle their all household job, and when master is, see, concentrating over the household job only, who will manage the affairs of his state? Again, he justifying the slavery on the moral account too, on the biological account too, or the, you can say, next point. Next. He gave further argument. He gave further argument in support of slavery. And said that, further argument in support of slavery, and said that slavery is beneficial for slaves. Slavery is beneficial for slaves because slaves will get an opportunity, to live. Slaves will get an opportunity to live with masters, and they will also develop reason. They will also develop reason in days to come. And see, the people like Barker, see, when he gave the concept of slavery, see, some scholar like Barker says that whenever Aristotle gave a concept of slavery, and that is not a modern slavery, because there was a, what modern slavery means, African slavery, and modern slavery no longer exists today. And Barker says that if we are reading out the Aristotle, the status of slave were more like, see, the maid in the house, servant in the house, nothing else. It was very different from the African slavery existed. Because African slavery means where slaves were employed in the production, but not the Greek slaves. Where slaves were subject to the ill treatment, they were tortured, they were shamed sometime. This never happened in the Greek age, because you have to remember the fact that what is the purpose of individual life? Moral and virtuous. How a moral and virtuous person will ill treat a fellow individual? So Barker very much defended the concept of slavery, and here you know that somehow the great philosopher like Aristotle is also somehow trapped in the vicious circle of ethnocentrism. See, what is ethnocentrism? You always say that India is great. China says that China is closer to the heaven. This is the ethnocentrism, praising our own culture, praising our own, see, religion, praising our own people, and behaving that we are most superior in the world. Therefore, Aristotle says that Greek people cannot be a slave. It's very interesting to note that what Aristotle says that there is three categories of people exist in this world. He says the first, people from the West. So they are very adventurous, they are very brave, but they lack reason and less mind. The people from East, in Asia, they are very knowledgeable, very rational, they are sharp mind, but they are very lazy. आज करना है तो कल करेंगे. And the people of Greek, they combine both quality. They are the sharp too and adventurous too. Therefore, Greek person cannot become a slave. Therefore, this concept of slavery became very much disputed. But what do you mean by slavery when he is describing? So next point you can write. Next heading you can write. Next point, next heading. Next heading. Barker, the name of a scholar. Barker said that. Barker said that. Barker said that slaves are considered as slaves are considered as slaves are considered as living property of the master. Slaves are considered as a living property of the master. Living property of the master. But Barker said that slavery of Aristotle was very different. Slavery of Aristotle was very different from the slavery of African continent, or from the slavery of Africans, or from slavery of modern age. Full stop. African slavery means modern slavery. Full stop. For Aristotle, slaves are like the domestic help. Slaves are like the domestic help. They will never be employed in the production. Slaves are like the domestic help. They will never be employed. They will never be employed in the productive activities. They are never ill treated by the masters. They are never ill treated by the masters. Moreover, Aristotle also said that slaves will become free. Slaves will become free once they develop. Slaves will become free once they develop reason. Once they develop reason. So even when they develop reason, it means they are likely to become the master. And he further says that the child of slave is not supposed to become slave. And the people who are war prisoner, they will not become slave. Because what was African slavery? The child of slave will also become slave. And see, war prisoner were treated as slave. For Aristotle, slave were more like a natural slave first, Greek people will never become slave, and moreover, what he said that it is more or less like a domestic help, nothing else. But we cannot see agree with the argument of Barker, because if some scholar is supporting inequality in any form, this can't be justified. This can't be justified. Then where you can write a conclusion. Slave marriage करते थे. That is reason what I am asking, that the child of slave is not supposed to become slave. Child of slave is not supposed to become slave. That is a contradiction. That is a contradiction. What you are pointing out, that that whenever philosopher wrote something, they could not imagine that later people will do post-mortem. So these kind of the question which is very much not answered by even Aristotle himself. But you look, on the one hand, look how the modern scholars are defining the Aristotle. On the one hand, when Aristotle says that what is the purpose of life? To lead a moral, virtuous life. Then it appears that, oh my God, he is one of the moral scholar. He believes in virtue ethics. But same person who is supporting the slavery, same person who is saying that, now how woman can occupy the same status likewise of male. Therefore, Kelleson commented over the Aristotle. How Kelleson is a modern scholar. So next point you can write. Critics said that. You can write conclusion. या critics के बाद conclusion लिख लेना. So first, critics said that justifying social inequality on the basis of natural inequality justifying social inequality on the basis of natural inequality is illogical and can't be accepted in the modern society. Is illogical and can't be accepted in modern society. Because that is a problematic. And Kelleson is just like Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R. Earlier you wrote the name of Miller. They're a modern commentator of Aristotle. See, Kelleson is a legal positivist. It means scholar of law. Kelleson said that Aristotle is an ethical relativist. Aristotle is an ethical relativist. See, ethics should be absolute or relative? Ethics should be absolute. Just like Gandhi says that truth is the best policy, honesty is the best policy. He will never give up the principle of truth. That is said by Gandhi, absolute. It means why relative ethical? Why ethical relativism? Because look, whenever we are saying on the account of master, it appears that he is ethical. But once you are justifying the lower condition of woman, how it can be ethical? It means you are changing the ethical principle in various contexts. Therefore, that is a ethical relativism. It's not absolute. It means ethics depends upon the time and circumstances. Look the condition. I went in temple. तो मैं किसी की चप्पल चुराने तो वहाँ नहीं गया था. But once I noticed that कि मेरा चप्पल किसी ने चुरा लिया तो मैं भी किसी के पहन के निकल लिया. This is a relative ethical approach. But what is the approach of Mahatma Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi ने कहा तुम्हारा चप्पल कोई चुरा ले गया, तुम क्यों चुराते हो, तुम नंगे पाँव आओ. Therefore, look, ethical relativist. On the one hand, it appears that moral scholar, virtuous scholar, but on the other hand, he is justifying inequality. how we can justify inequality in the ethical thought, virtuous thought? Because, and that is the point. See, ethics of Aristotle is sometimes also Nicomachean ethics. Whether you say virtue ethics or Nicomachean ethics, it's same. So only term is different. Some people describe it. Aristotelian ethics is a Nicomachean ethics. So whether you are saying the virtue ethics, Nicomachean ethics is almost same. Therefore, ethical relativism. It means his concept of ethics change from time to time. It's not absolute. In that context, so now we have somehow completed this concept of golden mean.